There we go. Good morning, quilters. Or I suppose it could be afternoon or evening, wherever it is for you. Hi, it's good to see you again. Um, so this is the third coffee and quilting chat that we have had, and oh, I should have gotten comfortable. Here we go. And I do enjoy these chats. It's fun to just relax and get together and say hi and pass some time since we're all kind of stuck at home right now. So, if you have any questions, any comments, things you want me to talk about, or things you want to discuss, let me know. Say hi in the comments. Let me know where you're from because I'm curious. We got people from all over. I've had people and the other chats were from Ireland, and we had several from the UK. I think, if I remember right, she's from Australia. I think she was in Australia. So we've had people from like all over, and of course we have people in the US too, because that's this is kind of a normal time for us to sit and chat. So we have Phoenix. Okay, so yeah, so today I'm trying not talk your ear off as much. Oh, we have Iowa. You know, um, I talked about yesterday. Um, I live in Houston, so we're not really immune to like hurricanes and stuff like that. They happen all the time. They're pretty standard. We all get like a little freaked out, and of course, like gas prices shoot up, and everybody clears the bread shelf, and everybody clears the water shelf, and all of that. But this is kind of, I don't know, new territory for us. But when Hurricane Harvey hit, and it was pretty bad. Like we weren't affected. My family wasn't affected. Um, Kind of the lower areas of the city were affected, and because I live in such a huge city with like I don't know, I think we're up to like 5 million people now, something like that. Um, Either the third or the fourth largest. I don't know. We're really close with LA. But anyway, so I started making a quilt because I didn't know how long I was going to be stuck inside, right? You're just waiting, sitting, you're just a sitting duck. You're just waiting for this big disaster to come and like, okay, let's get it over with so we can move on, right? So I started making a quilt, and actually, I've got it here. So, whoopsies. So this quilt right here is my hurricane quilt, and I just did a really really simple pattern because I didn't know how long I was going to have. So it's kind of become a bit of like a tradition now. Whenever I have like something where we have to stay home, I start making quilts. And let's see, and so this is my Hurricane Harvey quilt. I started making uh, a social isolation quilt, social distancing quilt as well. I Let's see, what do I have for that one? Where's my stuff for it? Here it is. By the way, my sewing room is an absolute disaster. I probably should take a few minutes today and like kind of get my stuff back together. You know. So oh, I do. Sally Ann, you are back from Ireland. Hey girl, I told you there was somebody from Ireland here, and we have Austin, Texas. How much? Let's see. I know we had more people in the U.S. It is really, um, Rochelle, you say to stick to the CDC and the NIH for resources on it. Yeah, go to definitely places that you can get good information from. Facebook is just loaded. I mean, I Facebook is really hard for me because there's too much information on there for me. But it's loaded with stuff that's not correct. We've got more UK. Oh, your craft room is a disaster too, Samantha. Yeah, if I spun this computer around, it's to the point where it's embarrassing. Like it's just I've kind of lived in here for the last couple days, and I'm thankful for this space, but it's getting pretty bad. So this is my social distancing quilt backing here. I've got the front of it is already kind of laid out on my batting, but So here is the backing, and this one is going to be mine, as you can see from the scissors and this. This is a Tula Pink fabric. I love, love, love this fabric. And then I love stars, if you didn't know that already. So I have this one as well. And so this is my social distancing quilt. And I'm going to do this as the binding. So I think this one is going to be really, really cute as the binding. I don't know if you can like see, and that'd be cute binding. But so we got lots of Texas people here today. I like it, guys. Good job. Yeah. So I hope things are okay where you are. I genuinely do. I want to take care of the world as best that we can right now and make sure that we are all staying safe. And tell you what, at the end of all this, there's going to be so many pretty things that we have had time to sit down and make. I joke all the time is, if the rest of the world stopped for like 2 months, I might could catch up. And I I literally did not mean it when I said it. So here we are. Hmm. But yeah. So uh, Samantha, you're already moving into the kitchen because there's no desk or table for them yet. Yeah, I don't even give me that idea, girl. I could literally start moving everything into the hallway and take over the whole downstairs because who's gonna stop me at this point, right? Actually, no, the puppies would stop me at this point because they are getting over everything right now. They're so happy that we're home all the time now. But I don't know, maybe today we should make like March is National Crafters Month if you didn't know that. That was a new one on me this year. I don't know when they made that or what company came up with that. Like shouldn't have been Hallmark or something, but a company like that would have come up with like National Crafters Month. Let's put sales all the month of March. Um, so maybe we should make today like I don't know, Icy Stars Quilting Clean Your Sewing Room Day or something like that. So that way we can all start fresh tomorrow because it really does help um, once things start getting out of hand and you start noticing that it's out of hand to kind of pull it all back together, start from fresh again. So I did this yesterday as well and it felt really good. This is my favorite candle in the world. I'm going to light it because I'm done talking about everything else that's going on in the world right now. And we're going to have some quiet time to just talk about quilting and what it is that you're working on. I have a whole bunch of projects that are going on right now that normally I only get like a little bit at a time to sew. And so I'm kind of like, I'm making a whole lot of progress, especially on the stuff that I'm doing on my site and the classes that I'm making and all of that. Um, I have a course coming out called How to Choose Colors and Fabric for Your Quilt, or How to Choose Fabric for Your Quilt, sorry. But it does go into a lot of like colors and color theory and that stuff too. That is something that you struggle with. It is loaded with information. Like I went into every step. We did a little bit of color theory in there. Obviously, not to the extent that I would have liked to have gone in because I think that might bore other people. I studied, let's see, I studied communication design, which is a lot of graphic design and marketing and all of that for about 5 years. And color theory is literally like my favorite. Look at me, I'm making a mess here. So it's really like my favorite. So I love to go into that. And oh, you asked about my sewing machine cover. Okay. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I have such a scatterbrain. This live stuff is really fun. I love talking to you girls. Like y'all are seriously the best. Your emails absolutely brighten my day when I get them. And I love hearing from you. I love seeing your pictures and stuff. So don't ever think that like, oh, I just finished this. Nobody really wants to see this. Yeah, I want to see them. I love seeing your stuff because I'm inspired by you guys big time. So, again with my scatterbrain. So my sewing machine cover back there is a really really fun project, and I don't have a pattern for it. There is a pattern for the front of it, but like the actual sewing machine cover is kind of it's individual to each machine. So I have a tutorial on my website. If you go to ISeeStarsQuilting.com and you search um, DIY sewing machine cover, you should be able to find the post that I wrote on it. And it does have a link to the paper piecing pattern that I used on the front of the sewing machine. So that actual like rainbow sewing machine cover there, it's a paper piecing pattern. And it's really, really fun. I mean, it comes out like 17 by 15 or I mean something, somehow along those measurements. But that is that's what I started with is I really really wanted to make that. But then like it turned out so beautiful, right? So then I was like, what can I do with this? I don't want to just I don't know, hang it up on the wall or put it on a quilt that's just going to get pushed aside. Oh, I just got an idea for a quilt. Okay. Um, Inspiration comes from anywhere, guys. Absolutely anywhere. I just got a really good idea for a quilt. I wonder if I could do that. Like, wouldn't it be so pretty if I made like because my brain doesn't think small, right? If I made like 30 of those and put them into a quilt. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, that might happen like, I don't know, next year or something. but but so that's just a paper piecing pattern, and I made it with scrap fabrics, and I kind of did have to like curate like, okay, I want the red up here, and I want it to just go kind of in a rainbow all the way around. But you'll find the link on there. It really wasn't. I think it was like less than $4 just for that front pattern there. And then if you go to my website, you'll see the tutorial for how to figure out like the measurements for the rest of the quilt. So so my course should come out on Tuesday, how to choose colors for your quilt. We go into like, how not to be overwhelmed when you go into the fabric store, how not to just feel like there's so many colors out there, and how not to make your quilt look like a circus when you don't want it to, how to make it pleasing to the eye, how to read the color wheel. And yeah, we go back into all of that stuff. So I'm really, really excited about that one. It's mm, hot chocolate was probably not the best thing to have now that I've got chocolate on my face. So, anyways, um, anyways, that's kind of where my thoughts are right now. We're just going from one project to the next, and I can't remember who said it up there, but it's really you mentioned not to start any new projects is a really good way to clean up your sewing space is to just keep working on the ones that are already out. And girl, if I had your patience and your understanding and your way of doing things, because obviously, like you just saw and you just witnessed, I found a new idea for that sewing machine pattern. And now my brain is just thinking through all of the scraps that I have in my scrap bins and how I can pull those out to make more sewing machines. So, yikes. Um, but so another quick thing is on my website. If you are looking for something to do and you are stuck at home for a little while and you're looking for some new patterns and stuff, I have a few patterns on my website under the shop category that if you use the code Facebook Live, so FACEBOOKLIVE, um, type that into the coupon code. It'll get you 40% off of any of the patterns in my site right now. So, and most of them are like super cheap to begin with, and it wouldn't let me like just offer them to you for free, but I did get a good 40% off on there for you so that you can have something new to play with and, you know, enjoy sewing something new for right now. I'm going to do 40% off my whole site. So, yeah, I'm going to do 40% off my whole site, all my ebooks, everything that's online right now. The only thing that I can't do 40% off of is my straight sewing guide. And that is because um, I pretty much already offer you that darn near at cost. But so you get 40% off the patterns, 40% off of the ebooks, and my gift tag printables and all of that will all be 40% off. Oh, I can pick your brain about this too. I have been thinking, so my son loves to quilt with me. He's made a couple quilts with me, small ones, more like he uses them for his stuffed animals and stuff, but like he'll find really fun fabric. Like, I know we've all seen it, like that novelty fabric with like the pretzels on it or like the jelly beans or whatever. He'll find projects like that when we're at the store or when he's at the store with me shopping. And he wants them. So like he'll come and he'll sew with me. But um, my my thoughts were on making like a quilting with me class, um, because I know a lot of my readers have like have grandchildren or have young children. You know, what would you think about that? Like, is that something that you would be interested in? Is like a quilting with me class? Just teaching not only like sewing machine safety, but like how to make your first quilt or how to make like, and I'm not talking about like two pieces of fabric sandwiched together, put some lines in between it. Like it would be a little bit more advanced, like maybe like, let's see, my son is 8 years old, so maybe like the 8 to 13-ish range or something like that. Um, that way, it would be something that they would be like really, really proud of. Like I'm talking maybe some half square triangles, something that my specialty, what looks complicated, but actually is really not that complicated when you break it down. However, you're the only one who needs to know that, right? I mean, if somebody's going to give you praise for something that is amazing, take it, enjoy it. So that's kind of what I think. Maybe like, yeah, maybe like, let's say like 8 to 13. Maybe even like my son's he's a boy, so maybe like girls could probably be even like 6 or 7 on up, but it would definitely have some um, sewing machine safety. Not like here's a video, sew your own stuff, but it has to be like sewing with me because I would not leave a child alone with a sewing machine. I don't think that's a good idea, but yeah. Oh, good idea. I haven't even thought about like let's see, they have Teresa says they have to have an adult in the room. There's a whole lot of safety that would need to be involved. Samantha asked, do you have any ideas for teaching a 5-year-old to sew? I've been talking about it lately at work, and the little girl seems interested. I do. I mean, my kids sewed with me when they were that little. I'm sure my son still has it. The first like quilt that he made, I took him with me to the fabric store. Or I mean, if this little 5-year-old, is not your daughter, you could like go get like some fat quarters. Fat quarters are perfect for them to work with. You don't want anything that's like bigger than them to work with. Go get some fat quarters and let her pick it out. Make sure that she is involved in every step of the process. And maybe you could do like a side by side thing. So like you're making one and she's making one, and then if you want in the end you can give it to her, but you can do like doll blankets, or you can do like or doll quilts, or snuggle quilts for them to sleep with. So that's what I did with my son, is I took him to the fabric store and I let him go through that novelty fabric section because that's what he's gonna love. He was little. I think my daughter was probably 6. She's not really into quilting. She's like, I mean, she'll do it because she knows it makes mommy happy, but she's just like pedal to the floor, sew, done, and then she's good. My son actually like will sit down and kind of figure out and think like, okay, how do I want to do this? And so you're really just gonna have to like see like personality wise, what they would want to make, make sure that they're involved in the process. Don't make it like a, you have to do your homework, you have to come in here and do this sewing thing. So patience on your part to, understand where they're coming from. And so, you could make something alongside her. And I would definitely do like on the sewing machine because the needle is going to be way too hard. But, you know, take some extra precautions like the basting spray. That way I would just do like one fat quarter on top of another fat quarter with some batting in between. And then you can finish out the binding for her or do one of those quilts without the binding. I'm talking about the ones where like you sew the right sides together all the way around and then you flip it, right? So it's already like all sealed all around the edges, almost like a pillow form or something like that, where there is no binding. So that way you're getting quick wins. That's what you really want when they're that little is quick wins. Yeah, maybe I'll do that for I don't know if I'll do it for my next course, but I do want like a sewing with me. I think it would be good. I don't know. I didn't want to like take away from grandmothers and aunties and stuff who want to teach their kids how to sew. I want it to be a good experience for both of you. I don't want to take that teacher position away from you, but I think there's a lot of information and a lot of things to be said for um, you know, you get to be the fun one. All right, you get to be the fun one that like helps them pick out the fabric and stuff, and I get to be the one that's like, so don't slice off your fingers because I have several like scars and things. I was even shooting one of my modern quilting made easy class, and that was a class that I did a couple years ago where we walk through every step of the quilting process together, you and I. So we actually like we make a quilt together, and it's a pattern that I designed, so it's an exclusive pattern that goes with the class. And it was an 8 week process. So I filmed the course in 8 weeks, and I was just one step ahead of my students every single week. And I I cut my finger really, really good in the middle of that course. It was so then the rest of the course is me with a band-aid wrapped around my finger because yeah, rotary cutters are, man, they're real. And that was that was rough. So, maybe I would I get to be the one that would tell the kids all the safety things and all of that. But yeah, that is good things to think about because I'm just about to wrap up this how to choose fabric for your quilts course and got nothing else to work on just yet. Actually, that's a lie. My whiteboard over here is filled up with all kinds of ideas and products and things that I just need time to work on and patterns that I want to design. Oh my gosh, I have so many patterns that like um, patterns of quilts that I've made that you girls have seen, but I haven't had the time to sit down and map out like step by step by step. I want to make sure that all my patterns are just drawn on literal graph paper, like you know, pen to paper or pencil to paper rather, colored pencils. I bring out my markers and I start like sketching things all over the place, and they're really a mess. But I can't give you those. You probably wouldn't understand my crazy, weird brain. But so I'm going to see. Uh, Completely lost my train of thought. Um, I need to make those patterns into actual ones that you can see. Um, let's see. Samantha, you just made a small table topper to sit on my 1937 Singer table. Ooh, look at you. You got fancy antique sewing machines. I really don't know much about the old sewing machines. I know that they're beautiful. And I have a sewing machine, or I have a table with a sewing machine built in that was my grandmother's from like a really, really long time ago that needs to be restored. It sat in my grandfather's garage for, I don't know, probably like 60 years or something like that in Houston, Texas. all through the heats of the summer and the colds of the winter and all of that. So nobody even really knew it was there. Otherwise, it would have been taken out a long time ago. But he had it in the back of a storage facility for like a really long time. But it's like I think it's like a 20. It's like a sewing machine from like the 20s or something like that. Like it's an old one and it's beautiful, but nobody plug it in or anything because it's probably wouldn't even work. But I would be afraid it would explode. I rescued the sewing machine from his space, and then there are two typewriters that I rescued. One of them was from like the 70s, and then one of them is like the really, really old ones from like, I don't know what year it's from, but it's from quite a while back before that. So it actually has like the big, circular keys that you click down on. So I rescued both of those. That was a fun day. I kind of love all of that old style nostalgia stuff. Teresa says wood soap would clean that up and then rubbing Old English restores the wood. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. That way, because that's kind of what I wanted. Like, after sewing on my really beautiful and fancy, actually, it's not the fanciest model, but it's fancier than what I was sewing on before. So I think it's really fancy. My Janome, I'm not really sure I could go back to like the old style sewing machines. Of course, I haven't ever sewn on like one of the really, really, really old thingers, so I don't know. There would be some nostalgia to it, just to feel like all of the other souls that have sewn on that sewing machine. I think it would be really cool, but I don't think it would be like my main sewing machine ever. But I would like to like clean it up and at least make it look really beautiful. Maybe it doesn't have to run, but I would like to find a place for it in my house because sewing is such a big um, part of my life and a big artistry that I have found, to um, as a means of expression. So I would like to have a place for it in my house. But yeah, spiders can't come with it. They got to go. Let's do a takeaway with this. I want you to think about what is the next thing that you want to accomplish. What is the next thing that you want to work towards and finish? Um, because whoever up further in the chat said, quit starting new things, you kind of spoke to me today. So I'm trying to think like, what is it around here that I want to finish? And I want to kind of let you walk away with that same thing too, is what is it that you want to work on today? Let's say today and tomorrow. Even if you can't finish it, what can you make a huge dent in if you were to work and put all of your time and effort into one project instead of, which I tend to do, like 7 projects at once. What is it that you can work on? I think I'm going to work on my social distancing quilt. Figure out what kind of small wins that you can get today. Figure out what small wins you can get this week, and you know, really, really make the most of the time that you have. Yeah, so I think that'll be my social distancing quilt. I need a better name for it than that. I need a better name for it than that, but I've said it so many times. I think it might be sticking. So let's see. Let me look through here real quick. Judy wants to finish the Helix quilt. Yay, Judy! Good for you. So have you watched all the videos, Judy, or are you the Helix quilt is the one from my Modern Quilting Made Easy class. So have you watched all the videos, or are you just taking it one step at a time? And also, Judy, I want to see pictures if you get a chance. I love to see pictures of what it is you're working on and the progress that you're making as well. Um, Kathy asked, can I send you a photo to get your ideas on how to make this? You just had an idea. Yeah, send me photos, send me ideas because, yeah, you know, you never know what your ideas are going to spark. And especially if you get like a group of people in on something, um, you know, girls, we can move mountains. I mean, I don't care what anybody says if they just say, oh, you sew a little bit. Uh-uh. All of us together as a group, I've never, like, I've been I've been an artist for a really long time. I've worked in design, I've worked in marketing, I've worked like sculpture and some other like more hands-on stuff. These quilters are like miles above everybody else. We have such hearts of gold and such hearts of um, you know, an ability to see the good and to be the good as well. So, I absolutely love you girls, and I hope that that is said with such sincerity because like we can move mountains. So that went a little bit far, but but yes, Kathy, please do send me what you have. I'd be happy to help you, and that goes for anybody else as well. If you have ideas and you want to um, send me what ideas you have, or you have questions like how on earth did they do this? I may not have answers. I can honestly tell you that. Like, I don't know everything, but if I know somebody else that might have an answer, I will certainly get them on it as well. Um, let's see. Samantha says, I have too many projects from all types of fiber and fabric crafts. I wouldn't know which one to pick from knitting, spinning, embroidery, or quilting. Which one is taking up the most space in your sewing room right now? Or, my favorite, which one is on top of my quilting table right now? Like, if I have to pick it up and move it in order to put something else there, that's the one I'm working on. Okay, so that way you can get that one out of the way. Or which one is taking up the most space? That way, the biggest win gets to go first. Um, and I say that, but I also told you that my sewing room is an absolute disaster right now. So I say that, and I'm trying to follow my own advice. Um, let's see. Uh, let's see. Kathy said, quilting my mini isolation tulip quilt. You have an isolation quilt too? Maybe that'll be like a theme at the next like quilt shows whenever we can all get out again. We'll all have isolation and social distancing quilts. um, Judy says, I'm taking it one step at a time. Girl, so is the rest of the world. I, I go between like, this is a disaster and, you know, being from Houston where we have hurricanes quite often. I know I said this earlier, but like the amount of people that come together and rally together and take care of our neighbors, it's a beautiful thing to see, and we will absolutely get through this. But as I said in my email the other day, just take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. If you have to break down, go ahead and do it, have your moment, but get back up and keep going forward. Do something for yourself, because there's absolutely no way you can take care of other people unless you're taking care of yourself. So, my social isolation quilt, it's going to be a quilt for me. It's going to be a quilt for me. Um, I didn't start out that way when I bought the fabric, but yeah, that one's going to be a quilt for me. So, okay, girls, I have to go and make dinner and get my family back on track from, I don't know, they're probably in there like playing video games or something like that. My husband is probably the one who totally instigated it. But I gotta go make sure that they are doing something productive and hopefully educational. I don't know. We'll see. But I really, really enjoyed this chat. Thank you, girls. Y'all are so sweet. I love you all. And I really hope that we'll do another one soon. I'm not sure schedule wise what works best right now. If you have any suggestions or like a certain time works for you better, please let me know. If you want to do another one of these, um, shoot me an email or write on the Facebook wall and I'll find it. And yeah, I'd be happy to do another one. So I will talk to y'all later. Have a really good day. Sew something pretty. Work on those quick wins that you can have, because that it helps your soul, it helps your spirit, it helps you get better. Work on those quick wins. What can you work on today that is going to move you one step forward instead of you know staying where you are or one step backwards? What can you do today? Also, if it helps, turn on a fan, get your sewing machine picked up, or not your sewing machine, your sewing room picked up a little bit. I think I'm going to do that this afternoon because we really can't move forward until I clean this place up. So have a good day. I will see y'all later, and stay safe, stay healthy.